Okay, so let's see what the market can give us. The people that just joined the recording now, I did start recording late. We have done all of this backtesting already, but it's fine. You guys can just hop on to it now. Okay, so this expansion here, right? I don't like this expansion because it's a consolidation before it expanded. Yes, this is the last bearish pressure before the bullish up move, but I don't trust expansions that consolidate before they expand. Because it's like just consolidates to the upside, consolidates, and then all of a sudden it just expands, and I don't trust that. I want to see good market structure. So I want to see volume like this, where we have a range that's being traded, and then an expansion, because that shows me good market structure. Whereas a consolidation to the upside and then an expansion doesn't show me good like market structure. So I want to see how this plays out. I wouldn't take a trade off of here. I want to see once it comes back, like what happens. That's an expansion for me. I'm going to pause there. We have this range over here. Range high, range low. Something like that. And then we have this area in here. I'll mark off that as my demand zone. And I'd want to see how price reacts in that zone before I take a trade off of it. Okay, we're coming close. I'm just going to go slow it down. We don't tap it. Let's see here what happens. Okay, we're consolidating into it. Okay, so here is where it happened. Let's see what we can get here. So that's not a good candle. This candle here, I wouldn't take that trade. I would, but I also wouldn't. So this, I'm gonna say that I wouldn't take this trade. I might have in real time if I watched this candle print that live. But to be honest with you, it probably would have been so quick that I would have missed the move anyways. Just because that candle taps it and then instantly just rejects it. And I wouldn't trust that because you can see before. You can see that the candle wicks up first, comes down, and then closes bullish, and that is just not something that I would trade. You can see here, watch it's going to go up first, then close down, and then go up. So it goes up, down, and then it closes bullish. Yeah, that's not something that I actually would have traded, so that would have been, I'm going to say it's going to be a missed trade, but it's just because it's not part of my trading plan. Like if a candle comes, like wicks all the way up top here, then comes down, and then closes to the upside, that's not a good sign for me. Like I would not want to get caught on the wrong side of that candle. Because what could easily happen is this candle goes up, wicks down, sits here for a little bit, wicks up, and that next candle opens and closes bearish, like really hard. So let's actually see what happens with this next candle. So it goes up again. That does close bullish, and it does close above this next high over here. So that technically is a breaker structure to the upside, and the strategy is telling me to long off of this, but I'd want to see how price reacts now in that zone. Okay, do we get a bullish closure off of this? No, we don't. So you see how we didn't get a bullish closure? Like every single time that I've taken a trade this backtesting session, it's taken off of a bullish closure out of the zone. It's taken off of a bearish closure out of this zone. This one was a break even. This one was a zone over here that we closed inside of. There would have been a lower time frame bullish closure because there was a massive wick there. So it's all about understanding price and understanding that to be able to get a trade like this, you can enter here 100%, but it's just a little bit more risky. You can 100% enter that trade over there. Whoops, that's a short. You can 100% enter this trade over here. Let me just change the color of this because it's really annoying me. This needs to be red and this needs to be blue. Yeah. You could 100% take an order off of this, but there is no secondary confirmation that this trade would be a profitable trade. You could do that. Let's see what happens. I'm not going to, if this trade wins, I'm not going to count it as a win. But let's see. Let's take a one candle next. See, that next candle then just dipped straight down. There was no significant structure to tell us that this was going to go up. Price then comes back down into our lower zone. Closes there. If we get a bullish closure here, I'll go long. And we don't. So you see there, candle closure is important. We go down again. We then tap into this zone at the bottom here that we marked off earlier. And then let's keep going. What do we have? I won't take a trade that far off of here. So I wouldn't take this trade up here, because that would be the bullish closure. But my stop loss would be all the way down here. And that's just way too big for me. And I wouldn't be like Because at the end of the day, I'd be taking the trade there, going for risking $10, going for 1 to 5 is like all the way up top here. Where's that? That's like all the way up here at 70k. And like watching this chart here, like that's just gonna be way too big a move. So I'm just gonna sit out of that one. If we break another low here, I would be looking for an entry, and we're starting to range here as well. Starting to range here. If we break to the downside, I'd want to come up into this area here. Because that's my last bullish candle before the bearish pressure. Let's see if we do get that going. If we break down. We did clear below this wick, but we didn't close below this wick. So that's a no-go for me. So we didn't get a closure below this wick. So, and this zone now is now mitigated, so I can delete it. We didn't close below this wick. We just wicked below it. So that's not that's a no trade for me. Where does Bitcoin actually drop, bro? So we come deeper into the zone over here. Okay, so this might be a trade. Actually, no, it's not. It's not a trade for me. So what happened here was we came deeper into the zone, but we never cleared a lower low. We just consolidated and then wicked below, but we never cleared a lower low. So I'm just going to keep playing this out just to see what happens. Yeah, there you go. Woodigan stopped out anyway, so the zone's now mitigated. Let's keep it going, see what happens, see what we can get. Liquidity build to the downside. Break and retest traders would have got in over here. If you did a break and retest, you would have to stop loss above the high. 1 to 5 would be all the way down here. Damn, that's far, bro. That's very far. See, like that's why I don't like break and retesting, because like your stop loss is so high and your take profit's gonna be so low, or your take profit and stop loss is so far from the entry that like trade would take a while to play out. Let's actually see if this does play out anyways. It doesn't. See, don't trust break and retesting. So wait, what do we have so far? We have okay, so we started with a $100 account, we have a $185 account. So we made about 75 or 85% on the account so far. If that was a $5,000 account or $10,000 account, you would have made $7,500. That was a $5,000 account, you would have made $3,250. Like, it's all respective. You're risking a percentage amount, you're not risking a set amount of money. So here we did break a higher high. We had a pass to the upside, and then we had this area of demand here. Let's watch for candle closure. Bullish candle closure right there. That is a good sign for me. So we come up, break structure to the upside, tap into this demand zone, can have a bullish closure that engulfs the previous candle. So let's say we take it off of there. Stop loss below here, target 1 to 5. 5 is up there. That is kind of far. Let's see. Let's just say we took it off of there. You could have also taken it off of the 50% of the zone, but I'm gonna say I'm taking it off of there. Oh, stop out. So what's that? That's another 10% lost. So that's another $10 lost. So 185 minus 10. We are on 175 right now. Still up. Still up. So we now are breaking lows. Okay. So now we have this demand zone that's completely gone. That turns into a supply zone over here. Alright, so this demand zone is now turned into a supply zone, because we just broke it below this low over here, and we closed below it, and then we also broke below this wick over here. So we have a higher time frame change of character, and also a lower time frame change of character. Because we made a high there and we broke structure down. I want to see price come back up to here before I can take an entry. Consolidating up. Actually, it's consolidating sideways. I would expect an expansion now. Very soon. There we go, there's the expansion. Because this is a consolidation down, I wouldn't mark any supply zones here. I wouldn't trust any of these supply zones just because the market consolidated down. Let's wait for another one.
So when it goes to change of character, when do you mark it for a break of structure?
When do I mark it? When it takes the most recent high or low.
Okay.
Yeah. So for example here, sometimes I don't mark it. Like there, that would technically be a break of structure, but you have to understand that that ranges get formed very quickly. So you like rather look at a higher time frame view of it than look at a lower time frame view of it. Like over here, I could say that yes. No, I couldn't say that. Sorry, no. I could say this here was a change of character. Chalk down because we were making higher highs, then we broke a low, and then this would have been my supply zone. I could have done that, but I didn't, to be honest with you. Over here, because this is a consolidation, I don't like marking zones off of like downward or upward consolidations, because you can see that it's like doing this downward channel, right? But if you wanted to get technical, you could say yes, this is a breaker structure to the downside because we took the most recent low. An easier way to find the lows or the breaker structures is if you come up here to the top and you grab the line chart, it's very easy to then go and spot where the lows and the highs are. You can see where the consolidations are as well. It becomes easier just to see everything. So yes, this would be a breaker structure, but I don't have a clear supply zone here, right? So I'm not going to take a trade off of it. We are now building liquidity to the downside. Oh, I suspect we'll break it soon. Just keeps printing that liquidity. Boom, break. So your breakout traders would have gotten in there. Let's see if we get a retest. Okay, so here, right? So we broke this low. Any expansion that happens that breaks multiple lows or highs is a good expansion, right? So for this example, we took this low and we took this low. So that's two lows that got taken, right? So this is a strong move to the downside. So then I would look for so because this is liquidity, clear liquidity to the downside, I'll mark off this area here. Right, so there was clear structure that got traded, and then we broke the structure to the downside. The difference between that and this is that there is no clear structure here. There's a trend line, kind of, but there's a deviation, and then there's all of this nonsense, and then you've got this here with all these wicks, and that just doesn't look like this shouldn't break out to the downside. This technically should break out to the upside. So we decided to take liquidity to the downside, which is just not good market structure. It's just the market not knowing what it wants to do. Whereas this example here is we have clear support on this liquidity line, and then we break to the downside. I want to wait for a retest of that level before I can look for an entry. Let's see if we get it. Oh, we get it over there. Okay, so what I told the guys in the VIP is you can either take a trade off of the bottom of the zone, or you can take a trade off of the 50% of that zone. Or because that's how the strategy gets traded. I like to wait for bullish or bearish confirmation. So now let's just see how this plays out. I'll play one candle at a time. Okay, so you have this that closes like that. Don't like that candle. Let's see what happens. So we have that bearish closure. And you could have gotten in here if you took a limit, or if you just took it instantly off of there. But in this example, I'm going to say that I didn't, just because that candle happened very quickly. So do we just drop off now? We do just drop off. Okay. So you could have taken this trade. If you got in at the 50% of that zone, you could have just entered and you could have just gotten profit. Same thing if you just entered at the bottom of that zone, you could have entered, but we didn't get a bearish or good sign. That candle happened very quickly. Probably wouldn't have taken it, so that's a missed trade. More consolidation. Let's speed this up to 10x. And we come back into that zone. Okay, so my missed trade. So if you took this trade, right, if you took it at the bottom of the zone, yeah, stop loss above the high, and you targeted a 1 to 5, you would have gotten profit. 1 to 5 would have been cleared over here. So that would have been a trade that would have won. If you took the trade off the 50% of that zone, your take profit would have been a little bit earlier. So your take profit would have been here. Right? But we didn't get any of those, and price came right back to our zone. So I could look for a trade here. I could have just re-entered straight off of there. Hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Sorry. So we could have just entered straight off of that retest of that level over there, and then the bullish closure, bearish closure, stop loss above the high, targeting a 1 to 5, which would probably be the most recent low. Yeah, 1 to 5 would be there. Let's see what happens. Do we get it? We do get it. Okay, cool. That's another win. So now we have another $50 in the bank, plus 50. So now we are $225 over this entire period that we have been backtesting. We have grown a $100 account into a $250 account. So let's see what we have here. All of this is risking 10% of the initial deposit of the account. So we've got a range here. Do you see how I'm not compounding the risk? I'm not risking 10% of the entire account. I'm only risking 10% of the initial deposit. That's where people get it wrong. So like that's, if I risked more, like on a trade that we lost over here, we would be deeper in a loss right now. So if this account gets up, it was on 100. If it gets to 250, I would risk 10% of 250. But I'd wait for price to get up to there first. So I want to see here. Okay, bullish expansion to the upside. Off of a range. Good sign for me. Break structure up. Boom. This zone here. My demand zone. Let's see if we come back. Don't like how this looks. Consolidation, and over here would not have been a trade to take because there's no candle closure inside the zone. Right, so we have this. We must play it one at a time. Candle touches, candle then pushes into the zone. Do we get a bullish closure? No, we get a bearish closure, the next candle. So invalid now. Let's keep it going. Okay, so technically we also had a range over here. And then this would be my last bullish pressure before the downwards move. That would be my expansion to the downside. On a higher time frame, we also then cleared this low here. So we had this change of character to the downside over there. And the last bullish pressure before that change of character was over here. So now I have two zones to watch. Let's see if we come up to any of those zones. We're about to come up to the one. Now I'm looking for sells as well because the market's moving down. Range. Break structure to the downside. So, there's a fat wick over here that we haven't filled out yet. It's nothing significant for me right now. Yeah, price is not giving me a good direction. Actually, that's liquidity there. Retest traders would have gotten in there. So we had a lower time frame range over there. So there's a lower time frame range here. And then price breaks the downside, comes up and retests that level. So your breakout traders would have gotten in there. So your retest traders would have gotten in there. Let's play it out and see what happens. retest traders would have lost their trade now. Depending on where you put your stop loss. So your retest traders would have had that. Stop loss above this high over here. Or it could be there, it depends. If the stop loss was above the most recent high over there, it would have been a loss. Stop loss was above that high over there, it still would have been in the trade. And it would have gotten stopped out now. There's stopped out. Retest traders would have gotten stopped out over there. This liquidity is useless to me now. Can see we're building liquidity to the upside now. Let's see what happens. Do we get an expansion? I'm looking for a nice expansion. Just ranging. Okay, there's the expansion I'm looking for. So let's see, do we have a range here? We have a range low, yes. Range high, kind of. Let's grab this zone over here. This is the zone we want to watch. Do we have any upper zones here? Okay, this is where it gets interesting. It's tapping a supply zone up top here. It went and took out all that liquidity and it tapped into that upper range there. So if we get a nice candle closure here, I'll go one candle at a time. I'll take a short. Nothing good for me yet. There. Right? How's the next candle close? Yeah. So, if you took the trade straight off of the 50% of the zone, you'd be in profit. If you took the trade off the bottom of the zone, you'd be in profit. That's not good closure for me yet. Okay, that is better closure, but it's also consolidating down. So I wouldn't have taken this. Let's see what happens. Let's go one at a time. Let's see what happens. Do we go down or up? Consolidation. That's what we're happening right now. Ranging. So if you took this trade off of the bottom or the 50%, where's the 1 to 5 off of this? 1 to 5 is there. If you took it off the 50%, you would have already taken profit by now. But if you took it off the bottom of the zone, it taps us in again. It comes right back to my zone anyways. Like whenever I miss a candle, like whenever I miss a trade, it seems to come back to my zone very quickly. So I want to look for a bearish closure. Okay, that wick to the top side. We close like that. Okay, that's almost mitigated. If we get a bearish engulfing closure like that, it's a good sign for me. Yo, this trade's massive, bro. Yeah, this trade is massive, bro. Okay, let's see. Okay, so here's where you break a low. Take that low so this trade's on break even. As soon as you make a lower low on that time frame, this trade goes to break even. Sorry, it's a chalk to the downside. Break even trade right now, and we tap into this demand zone here. Right, so this is where it gets interesting. So you could hedge this trade because you're sitting in between like kind of a different range. So you have this demand zone at the bottom here that I'll just change the color to. And you have the supply zone at the top here. Do we still have people in this chat? Yeah, we do. Drink some water. Why? Because my voice is a bit raspy. Yeah, lol. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, sorry. Grateful Trader says I'm learning a lot. Nice, dude. I'm glad to hear that. Let's go back. Okay. So, this is where it gets interesting. You could hedge this now if you wanted to. You could either take the trade straight off of this bottom zone. If you traded off the 50%, you wouldn't have gotten it. And you could have taken this right here. I want to wait for another closure first. Because this bearish move was so strong, I'd watch out about taking longs here. Just because this downward move was very strong and it cleared two lows, right? So it cleared this low here, where we marked first. And it also took that low there. Right? So I'll be careful buying this zone right now. Let's play it one at a time. So we get, okay, so we get this candle tapping into the 50% of the zone. And then it comes up. Right, let's see how this next candle closes. You said this next candle closes and completely... Well, this... Oh, okay, no, it wicks. It didn't close there. Okay, so now it closed there. Okay, so you see how we had to wait carefully because we're already in a short and we understand that the market's pushing down very strong. So taking a long in that position would be very tricky. Alright? So let's see if this hits profit. Stop loss already on break even, so this is a risk-free trade, and it hits profit over there. Whoops, hits profit over there, so that's another 50. Plus 50. Now you're on 275, so now we can risk 10% of 250, right? Because that was our next target to hit, was 250 on our $100 account. So now I'm going to risk 10% of 250 is $25, right? So instead of risking $10 per trade, I'll risk $25 per trade. Alright, so let's see what we can get in the next one. I'll do like 1, 2, maybe 3 more, and then I'll just end the session. Okay, we're breaking lows, made a higher high. And then came down again, so we broke this low here. This is the low we got to break over there. That's the low we broke. Track to the downside. We have this upper zone up top here that we can look for sells off of. See if we get anything in there. Okay, we get something in there. Okay, so let's go back a bit. Go there. Let's see what we get. So we can play one candle at a time. Okay, so we get the candle tapping in. Once again, like I said before, and I'll say it again, you can take a trade straight off of that zone, or you can take it off the 50%, and that would have been triggered in this example. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to wait for price to see what we're going to do. We come back up again. Then we dip down to consolidate back up again. Price is being weird. Let's speed it up faster. No. Okay, if you took this trade straight off, if you did like a limit order or like an aggressive entry, would have won. I didn't take that though. Just gonna move this up again. Just try and see where price wants to go. Okay, so we're dipping down now. Okay, let's see this. So now you break structure to the downside again. And I can already tell you that this is a higher time frame range. So the range low being there, the range high being like there. So the area I'd want to sell off of would be this area over here. Let's see if price comes back to me. The tape rears profits. Ooh, there's something that happened over here that I just missed it. I just didn't see it. We have this liquidity here. Price breaks the downside, makes a lower low, does that. Makes a lower low here. So now we have two zones we gotta look out for. Pass down. And let's see what happens here. I wouldn't have taken the trade off any of these candles here. If price comes back here, I'll do an aggressive entry. Is that stoppage? That is stoppage. If this was an aggressive entry, this would be stopped. I'm going to count it. I'm going to count that aggressive entry as a stop. Because I did say it. I did say it out loud that I was going to do an aggressive entry. So therefore I need to be accountable. So what? That's negative. We said $25. So it's negative 25 on the account. So back down to 250. Depending on how this next candle closes, I might look for a sell again. That's consolidation. I need push. I'm not looking for a sell now. Nope. And goes up again. Consolidation. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. This one's invalid as well. So we have this liquidity here that we then took to the downside and made a low here. We then broke below that low. So technically we do have this upper zone here that we can look for. It's consolidation. Another setup, breaking lows. Let's go this upper zone up here. More lows, more lows. We're consolidating down though. We do end up coming into this zone over here. I didn't mark it off, so I didn't trade it. Tap it like multiple times as well. Got a feeling price pushes above it. Yeah, price pushes above it, so that would have been a stop out anyways. Consolidating, creating a trend line. Breakout traders would have gotten in there and gotten stopped out there. So much consolidation. Okay, I like that. That was a strong push to the upside. Do that. I can break a structure up. Wait for this zone over here because this was the last bearish pressure before the push expansion. Consolidating, doing nothing interesting. Where are we right now? We come back to this zone. Oh, we come back to this zone over here. And then also the zone up top here. Let's actually go back to see what happens in the zones. Would I have taken an entry? Let's move it up. Let's see. Nope. No. Looking for a nice push to the upside on a green candle. And then a bearish candle that engulfs that green candle. And I'm not getting it. Before it breaks the zone completely. See, so that's invalid. It was too much consolidation here before the push. That doesn't engulf. Neither does that. Neither does that. Well, these candles are just like consolidating in these zones. And you can't really trade a consolidation. There's no volume like right now in this trade, in this market here that then breaks the zone. This isn't giving us any positions. Break it low, yeah. Whoops. Oh shit. So no, we're all the way down here. Damn, we backtested all of. Oh god, that looks like a mess. We're here last. What, were we there last? No ways. Let's replay. So there. 1 hour. Let's play it. I'm just watching for some stuff to see what's happening. I'm gonna stop it there. Notice this trend line. We broke it to the downside, or this liquidity. Sorry, why am I calling it trend line? You technically have a supply zone up top here, because that was where the last like buying pressure happened. That's where the exchange of hands happened. Let's check it out. Let's see if we come back to it. We also have a buying zone down here. Okay, we're in the buying zone now. We're in the buying zone. We get a bearish candle, bullish candle. So I would have taken the trade here. Somewhere along these lines here. Stop loss below the low. 1 to 5, 4, 5. Got a feeling this would have been a stop out. Let's zoom out quickly. Hold on. Yeah, I would have taken that trade. Break this high. That's stop loss to break even. This is a break even trade. So let me go to that zone there. So I said I would have taken the trade, but I had a feeling it was going to get stopped out. So I was going to move my stop loss to break even very quickly. soon as we break this high there, as soon as you like, because this on a lower time frame's a range. When we break that high of that range, stop loss to break even, and then boom, it comes and knocks us out of that trade. So that's a break even trade. Let's see, this zone's also mitigated now. Ooh, okay, here we go. Now we got some movement again. Boom. Moving structure down, break structure down. Last pressure. Technically here we have this zone. What I want to also do is draw my fib top to bottom. Go for the 79 to 70.5. We don't have any candles here in this zone. We don't have a institutional candle or an order block in this zone. We don't have a bearish, bearish candle in between the zones, so I'm not going to mark it off. I'm just going to mark off all the zones that we could possibly take trades off of though. So we have that area, and also this area. So we have 3 zones that we could look for trades off of. The higher the zone, the better chance that the trade's going to win. Damn. And none of these zones got triggered in, because all of the candles pushed straight through the zone in this time frame. So you had this candle come up, tap it. If you entered on the 50%, that would have been a loss. Then you have this candle break through it and close through it. So this is now mitigated. Next candle completely breaks through it and mitigates this zone, and is currently in the top zone. So let's wait and see what we can find here on this top zone. I like that. That's a good sign for me. Stop loss above the zone high, targeting 1 to 5. Stopped out. So that's another loss on the account. So that's what, 25, negative 25. Whoops, 25. So we had 225 now. Account started at $100. We had 225. I'll do one more trade. Okay, I like that. We have now come to our upper zone. Up top over here. Let's see if we can take a short off of it. Not yet. I like that. Could take a trade off of that. However, if this next candle doesn't print the way I want it to, I'm going to exit the trade 1 to 5. I'll target the most recent low on this one. Do a 6 to 1. So let's print the next one. Okay, the next one prints red, so that's a good sign for me. I like that. Red again. If you break this next low, I'm going to break even. We don't break the low. Sign of weak. No, okay. So there's 2 bullish candles in a row. I'm going to wait for the next candle to print before I decide what I'm going to do. Okay, bearish again. Bullish. Okay, so I'm thinking that if we come higher up, I might go to cut the trade short, and then thinking I want to cut the trade short if we go bullish again, and then look for re-entry. Okay, we don't go bullish again. There we go, bullish. So I'll cut the trade off there. So that's about half of 25. So that's about negative 12, and I'll look for a re-entry. So that's a loss on the account, or technical loss here. Okay, I like that. No. Not yet. No. 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 Give me something I like. Yeah. No. 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 The zone's completely mitigated though. We could still see selling from it though. We could still see selling from it. Actually, I'm going to keep the zone in. Just because the price is consolidating nicely in the zone. If I get a nice closure, I could short it. No, I'm not getting any closures that I like. I'm just going to let this play out. I'm going to take my fib top to bottom of this leg. Selling zone would be up top here. Didn't tap my selling zone. Consolidating. Let's stop it here. Consolidation. Just want to draw it out. That's a break and retest as well. So we broke this high and retested the high over there. So break and retest traders will be getting in over there. How loud is this music in the background? Well, I'm probably gonna get demonetized on YouTube if I post this. It doesn't really matter. Technically, this is a selling zone because we came down and that was a big expansion to the downside. It didn't cause a break of structure, no, but it was the consolidation area that we had before we started this zone. So I'd look for a sell out of this. I'm not getting it. I'm not selling off this zone because of that consolidation. Let's see what we can get there. No, that's too much consolidation. I'm not taking that. Yep, there we go. Tapped into this upper zone here. 2 bearish candle closures. I could take the trade off of this, but I'm going to do an aggressive entry off of this retap of this zone. We do a 1 to 5. Or let's target the most recent low. Let's say here. We'll target that low there. For 12574. So let's go and play play it out, see what happens. Like that, new low, break even right now. Trades and break even. So we cleared this low over here. Trades and break even. We get stopped out. Okay, we get stopped out. I'm looking for another entry. Break even trade. We're looking for another entry. Nope. 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 Tempted. See the next candle? Yeah. Never mind. Okay, bullish closure. You could go 50% there. No, I'm not gonna. Okay, it's bullish closure. Bullish closure again. Do we close above? This zone's practically mitigated right now. So I'll delete that zone. Draw my original zone out. That's a bearish. No. There's no sign of weakness. It's consolidation. It's trying to expand really hard now. Yeah, there we go. Now, come on. Give me a candle that I like. And that's zone mitigated. Let's look at higher time frame structure quickly. We still can sell off of the zone. Let's play it faster. See if we can get a lower low. No, we don't. We get a high high. That was consolidation to the upside though. Not taking it. Sprint to lower low, come on. Consolidation. Okay, there we go. Clear one. So here we go. We have this area here where it was a range. Let's say it's over there somewhere. And then we broke this low over here. And then we have this over here as our zone, like that. Alright, so we have that. Wait for us to come back into that zone, see what happens. I'm gonna do an aggressive entry. Yeah, okay, cool. As I said, it came back. 1 to 5, target most recent low. So what happens? New low now, break even, straight away break even. Break even stopped out. Let's see what we can get. So that would have been stopped out over there. And we come back up. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So we come back up into the zone. So we make a lower low here. And then come back into this area here. Right, I'll be looking for a sell for that. There. Play it out. Boom, break even there. As soon as you broke that low there, that's break even. So close to profits. What is this? What is it on? 1 to 4.99. Dude, come on, just hit my TP. It's a sneeze, bro. sneeze and hit it. Boom, TP. So that's another win. So we have 25 times 5, which is $100. So we have plus 100 on the account. So we've grown this account from $100 to $313. Right, so that, how much is that in percentage? It's 213% on the account. So what happens? So if you have a $10,000 account, you now end up having a $30,130 account. If you have a $1,000 account, you have a $3,130 account. Yeah. So look, the gains that we made in this backtesting session on this account was 213%. So that is just a form of backtesting that I did now. And that's how you guys can do backtesting on your own. So we made, what, 213%. And that is some good profits for me. Yeah. I'm going to stop this recording just because we've been doing it for 46